Okay, for this deep dive, I want you to um, picture something with me. And we're not going to a beach or, a mountaintop, not some perfect memory from a holiday, anything like that. I want you to go somewhere much more immediate, just Tuesday. An ordinary kind of gray Tuesday morning, and you're standing at a bus stop. The sky isn't really doing anything special. It's just that flat, neutral sheet of cloud. You're checking your phone, shifting your weight a bit. You know the drill. Check the time. Look down the street. It's that rhythm of the commute. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
It's the script, isn't it? The script we all live by.
Yeah.
That comforting predictability.
Totally. We lean on it, and then you see it, the bus. It rounds the corner, and you get that little chemical hit of relief in your chest. That, okay, the system works, I'm on time feeling. But as it gets closer, something feels off. The brakes hiss, the bus slows down for just a heartbeat, but the doors, they don't open.
And then you hear the engine roar.
It accelerates, just goes right past you. Gone. Disappearing around the next bend. No warning, no explanation. Not even a little apologetic wave from the driver. Just gone. And you're left there on the pavement in this cloud of exhaust.
That moment.
Oh, wait,
That specific split second where the taillights fade and the silence rushes back in. That is where we need to pause today.
Yeah. Let's unpack that, because usually the reaction is instant. It's anger, panic, I'm going to be late, my boss is going to kill me. It's so visceral. But you're right, before the anger kicks in, there is this tiny suspended moment, a gap. The bus is gone, but your brain hasn't quite loaded the panic software yet. It's just a void.
That silence is profound. It's not just an absence of noise, it's a rupture. It's a glitch in the matrix of your whole day. You're suspended between the expectation being on that bus and the brutal reality of being on the sidewalk. That gap isn't a mistake. It isn't a failure. It's an opening.
An opening to what? Because honestly, standing there watching my ride leave feels more like an opening to a terrible morning.
Well, it feels that way because we're conditioned, biologically and culturally to see efficiency as the only real measure of a successful life. If I'm moving toward my goal, I'm winning. If I'm still, I'm losing. But the wisdom we're exploring today suggests something pretty radical. It suggests that Zen doesn't begin on a meditation cushion in a quiet room with incense. It begins right here, on the cracked pavement, with the smell of diesel and your coffee getting cold.
Well, the missed bus is the meditation bell.
Precisely. The missed bus isn't a problem you have to solve. It's a koan.
A Koan. Okay, so that's like a riddle, but one you can't solve with logic, right?
Exactly. It's a riddle whispered by reality itself, and it's designed to short-circuit your thinking mind. The question this particular koan asks is simple. But if you really let it in, it dismantles everything. What remains when the plan vanishes?
Wow, that hits hard. Because if I'm being honest, what usually remains is just me. But a worse version. A frustrated, anxious version of me, already looking at Uber prices and cursing the city.
But look closer at that frustration. There's this concept called ordinary mind. We think that means calm, peaceful, like a monk on a postcard. But ordinary mind is just what's happening when you stop adding a story to it. What is the mind actually doing when the world rejects your timeline? When the vehicle meant to carry you forward just leaves you behind?
It panics. It tries to reason its way out. Maybe I can run to the next stop, or if I wave my arms.
Yes, the fixer can't stand the gap. But the answer isn't in fixing it, it's in standing still.
Standing still is, it's the last thing my body wants to do when I'm running late. It feels completely counter-evolutionary.
Of course. You're in fight or flight. You're chasing the next moment because this one feels unacceptable. But in that pause, if you can stop chasing just for a second, you realize something both terrifying and liberating. You are fully, undeniably here. The bus didn't take your worth with it. It just took your schedule. It revealed how tightly you were gripping the illusion of control.
It's the grip that hurts, isn't it? It's not the event. It's my resistance to the event.
It is always the grip. There's a classic story. You might know it. The Man and the Tigers.
I think so. The one that sounds like an action movie gone wrong.
Very much so. It's incredibly visceral. A man is walking, and boom, a tiger appears. He runs. He runs to the edge of a cliff, no choice. He scrambles over the side, grabs onto a thick vine. He's just dangling there. Above him, the tiger is snarling, pacing.
Okay, so he thinks I just need to weigh him out.
Right, but then he looks down, and on the rocks below him, another tiger is waiting.
Wow, talk about being between a rock and a hard place. Death above, death below.
And it gets worse. Two mice, one white and one black, come out and start gnawing on the vine.
The symbolism is pretty clear there. Day and night, time is eating away at his life. The situation is hopeless.
Total despair. Logic says panic. scream,
Mm.
but then, right there, growing out of the cliff face, he sees a single wild strawberry.
A strawberry in the middle of a death sentence.
A single red wild strawberry. He holds the vine with one hand, his grip slipping, and with the other he plucks it, puts it in his mouth, and he says how sweet it tastes.
See, I've always struggled with this story. Is he in denial? The tigers didn't go away. The vine is still snapping. It sounds insane to enjoy a snack.
That's the modern reaction. Fix the problem.
Yeah.
But the Zen perspective is different. He's not ignoring the tigers. He knows they're there, but he also knows worrying about them won't stop them. So in that moment of pure attention, fear and beauty coexist, and he chooses to orient toward the beauty.
Because it's the only thing that's actually real in that 1 second.
Yes, the past is the cliff top. That's gone. The future is death on the rocks below. The only reality is the taste of the strawberry. That's the only place life is actually happening.
Okay, so bringing this back to our Tuesday morning, the missed bus is the tiger.
No, the missed bus is the strawberry.
Wait, hold on. The thing that ruined my day is the sweet thing. You're gonna have to sell me on that one.
It's the strawberry because it's the thing that forces you to stop and actually taste the moment. It shocks you out of autopilot. We have to talk about two types of time here. The Greeks called them chronos and kairos.
I know Chronos. That's clock time. Linear. Tick-tock.
Yes, chronos is the tyrant. It says, you were 5 minutes late. It measures productivity. But Kairos is the timeless now. It's that moment when you're deep in conversation or watching a sunset and time just disappears.
The flow state, when you look up and 3 hours have gone by.
Exactly. When you miss the bus, you get violently kicked out of Chronos. Your schedule is broken. That feels like a disaster. But it's really an opportunity to fall into Kairos.
That's a beautiful way to put it. But it's hard to feel timeless when you're mentally calculating if you're going to get fired.
It's incredibly hard. That's why they call it a practice, not a perfect. Think of a still pond. You throw a stone in, the stone is the missed bus. What does the water do?
It ripples. It gets disturbed.
It ripples, yes. But does it fight the stone? Does it scream, this stone shouldn't be here?
No, it just encompasses it.
It receives the stone, it expresses the ripple perfectly, and then it returns to calm. It yields. Your mind is the water. The frustration is just the ripple. Beneath that surface, the stillness was never lost.
So the water doesn't pretend the stone didn't happen. It just doesn't create a 20-year grudge about it.
Right, and here's where it gets really interesting, I think. A paradox emerges. The more you try to avoid missing the bus, the more you miss your life.
Explain that. Avoiding missing the bus seems like a pretty good life strategy.
It's about where your attention is. If you're constantly projecting yourself onto the bus, living in the next thing, you aren't actually in the current thing. Life isn't happening on the bus you haven't boarded yet. Life is happening right there at the stop, in the waiting.
Okay, so let's say I'm with you, I'm at the stop, bus is gone, the shock is over, but now my brain kicks in, the mental spiral. What do I do? Who do I call?
The spiral, yes. This is what's called the second arrow.
Yeah.
The first arrow is the event, the bus late that hurts. But the second arrow is the story we tell ourselves about it. I am a failure. This always happens to me. That's the arrow we shoot into ourselves.
I've heard this called anticipatory exile. And I love that phrase. It feels so accurate.
It's a brilliant term for the modern condition, isn't it? We're physically present, but our minds are exiled to the future. You were on the curb, but your mind was already at the office, already in the meeting, already apologizing.
So when the doors didn't open, I felt betrayed because in my head I was already sitting down.
Precisely. You weren't really at the bus stop. You were just parking your body there while your consciousness was across town. The betrayal isn't from the world. It's from your own divided attention.
So how do we come back from exile when the adrenaline is pumping?
There's a beautiful story about a Zen master walking through a busy market with his student. The student is overwhelmed. It's chaotic, smelly. He asks, Master, how do you stay calm in all this? Where is the peace? And the master just stops. He points to a vendor frying dumplings. The oil is hissing and popping, these loud, aggressive sounds.
Aren't exactly a babbling brook.
No. And the master says, hear how the oil sizzles. That is the sound of enlightenment.
The hot oil.
The lesson is that the sacred is hidden in the ordinary textures. The sound of heels on wet pavement, the hum of traffic, the sizzling oil. These aren't distractions from the holy moment. They are the moment.
So instead of fuming at the bus stop, looking at my phone, I should look at, what, the pigeon?
Yes. Look at the pigeon. Notice the texture of the woman's scarf next to you. This is radical co-presence.
Yes.
You realize you're not the main character in a tragedy about being late. You're part of an ensemble cast in a scene called Tuesday Morning.
It shifts the focus from me versus the world to me in the world.
And it requires a kind of physical release.
Yeah.
There's another story about a monk and a teacup. The teacher hands him a cup of tea and says, "Hold this until your thoughts settle."
And he just holds it.
He holds it. Minutes pass, his arm starts to shake, it burns, he's in pain. He finally cries out, "Master, I can't hold it any longer." And the teacher just says, "Then let go."
And he drops it.
He drops it. It shatters. Tea everywhere. And in the silence that follows, the monk laughs.
Why does he laugh?
It's the realization. The peace wasn't in holding on. It was in the release. But, and this is key, he had to hold it to understand the weight. Your schedule, your plan. You've been gripping it so tight, your mental arm aches.
The Miss Bus forces me to drop the cup.
It forces the release. The schedule's ruined. And in that wreckage, there's space. The Japanese call this ma.
I have heard of ma in architecture. It's the space between things, right?
Yes, but it applies to time too. Think of music. Music isn't just the notes, it's the silence between them that creates rhythm. The delay is the silence between the notes of your life.
But we treat that silence like dead air. We try to fill it with scrolling or worrying.
We're terrified of the empty space. But that moment after the bus leaves, that is pure potential. It's fertile ground. It's the only time you're actually free.
That's a reframe. We tend to think the bus left to hurt us, that the universe is conspiring against us.
Paranoia of the ego. But what if we flip it? We don't know why the bus left. Maybe it was protection. Maybe the bus breaks down a mile up the road. Or maybe you just needed to see the sky for 5 minutes.
Or maybe it just happened.
Maybe it just happened. The point is the uncertainty. And this leads to a second paradox. Freedom isn't getting what you want. It's found in wanting nothing other than what is.
That is a tough pill to swallow, wanting nothing other than standing on a cold sidewalk.
It's the ultimate challenge. But consider the alternative. Fighting reality, I should be on that bus, is a battle you will lose 100% of the time. The bus is gone. Reality has won. Accepting it is the only way to align yourself with the universe again.
Okay, so I've accepted it. I'm standing there. The panic has gone. I'm noticing the pigeon. I feel grounded.
You feel grounded because you stopped resisting. You're no longer stranded. You are just there.
There's a story about Master Dogen here. He goes all the way to China, a perilous journey to find the truth.
A long, hard journey. He's looking for the secret teaching. And when he gets there, a teacher tells him he has to realize he left his own skin behind.
What does that even mean?
It means the truth wasn't in the destination. It wasn't in China. It was in shedding his ideas about what the truth should be. You don't need to go anywhere to find it. You're wearing it. It's your skin.
So, back to the bus stop. I don't need to get to the office to start my real life.
Precisely. Think of a river. The missed bus is a giant rock in the middle of the stream. Does the river stop and say, "Well, I guess I'm done"?
No, it flows around it. It creates white water, it speeds up, it slows down.
The rock gives the water shape. It gives it texture. The obstacles in your life, the missed buses, the delays, are what give your life its character. They aren't obstacles to the path, they are the path.
There's that famous saying, chop wood, carry water.
Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
So nothing changes on the outside, you still have to wait for the next bus?
The action is identical. You're still standing there, but the awareness is transformed. Before, you waited with resentment. Now you wait with presence. You're chopping wood with total engagement.
It changes how you look at everything, even the coffee cup in your hand.
Yes. That coffee isn't just a drink. It's sunlight. It's rain. It's the labor of farmers, the heat of the roast. It's a miracle in a cup. The pavement you're on. It's stone ground down over millions of years.
It sounds a little poetic for a Tuesday morning, but I get the point. The more you embrace the ordinary, the more extraordinary it becomes.
And I want to be clear about something. This is not passivity. We aren't saying, "Oh, well, nothing matters. I'll just sit here forever."
Right, you still get on the next bus.
You get on the next bus.
Yeah.
But the waiting isn't passive resignation. It is active surrender. It is a courageous choice to stand in uncertainty without rushing to fill it.
It takes guts to just stand there and be okay with not moving.
In a world obsessed with speed, stopping, truly stopping, is a revolutionary act.
So as we wrap this up, I'm picturing myself back at that bus stop. The bus is gone, the silence is settled, and I realize I've arrived.
That's the final shift. You came to catch a bus to go somewhere else. But the bus leaving allowed you to arrive here.
It's the final paradox, isn't it?
It is. You don't need to reach the moment. You're already held by it. You can't fall out of the present moment. You are always, inevitably, exactly where you need to be.
You can't be late for the present moment.
Impossible. You are always on time for now.
You are always on time for now. I like that. So what does this all mean for us when we go back to our own commutes?
It leaves us with questions. And Zen loves questions more than answers.
Yeah, there are some really provocative ones here to sit with.
Ask yourself, what if nothing is ever truly lost?
What if every ending is a beginning in disguise?
And maybe the most powerful one, what if the universe is conspiring for your awakening?
Not conspiring against you to make you late, but conspiring for you, to wake you up.
Exactly.
We're not going to answer this. We're going to leave them right there.
Don't try to solve them. Just let them sit.
So wherever you are right now, maybe on a bus, maybe washing dishes, just for a second, stop.
Listen to the silence behind the noise.
Feel the air.
Watch a leaf spiral. Let the silence speak.
Thanks for diving in with us today.
See you in a now.